Hi, and welcome to Three Questions with. Got my friend Beth Blaney with us. Hey, Beth, welcome to the show.
Hello, Kevin.
So, Beth, I asked you to come on the show today because I want to talk about your course, Hitting the Books. Let's talk a little bit about it. Tell us more.
All right, sure. So I wanted to have a way to help entrepreneurs figure out navigating their finances, their business finances. So I created a course, an online course, where people can learn how to use the big, scary QuickBooks Online and make it not be so big and scary.
I like this a lot, Beth, because I think everyone should do this. Because sometimes we outsource our bookkeeping, which we're going to get to a point where that makes perfect sense. But if you do it yourself first, you really get to understand the numbers more. You're not just waiting for some nice woman to send you a report. You're like, hey, I played with the numbers. I know what it means. Like, hey, look at my cost of goods sold is going up, or whatever it may be. When you're doing it yourself and you're seeing every number, to me, it's really, really powerful. Again, you're going to get to a point where, okay, I understand it now, and I'm doing so well that I don't want to put the time into doing my bookkeeping anymore. But at least I really understand the numbers. When you're telling me something, even just simple as this was your net income, like, okay, I don't know what that is, but that's good. It's you didn't have to use the red ink on it. So that's good,
Yeah.
But
well, and that's one of the things that I do a lot in the course that I think makes it a little different from other courses. It's not just tactical. It's not just like click here, click there, do this. I mean, that's included, right? But I also, I'm me. So for those of you that know me, I talk a lot. I'm going to talk to you throughout the course. I talk about what this means and why you're doing this. And not just, this is how to create a profit and loss statement, but this is how to create it. This is how to read it. And this is why you care.
Yep.
So that's the really important part to me, is getting entrepreneurs to understand what this stuff means so that they can make better informed business decisions.
I really like that, because even you look at simple things like ratios, okay, that's what the ratio says, but if I can't compare it to other businesses my size in my industry, how do I know if it's good or bad and stuff? So what made you want to do this?
So I started, I've always loved teaching. If I wasn't a bookkeeper, I'd probably be a teacher. Maybe not in this, world we're in right now, but I started teaching for the Center for Women in Enterprise, which, if you don't know, is a nonprofit that helps women entrepreneurs launch their businesses. And I started working with them and teaching the course, and people were just so loving the course, and they were so enlightened, and they were so into it. And I kind of realized I had this thing that, I'm good at being able to make things make sense. So, the sort of subtitle for Hitting the Books is a DIY QuickBooks online course for non-bookkeepers. So I'm not going to talk to people in bookkeeping-y language. I'm going to bring that into normal day-to-day language that makes sense to somebody starting out. And so that's where the idea came from, to say, hey, I can turn this into something that someone doesn't have to sit on a call for 2 hours, 4 weeks in a row and listen. They can do this in little spurts on their own time and make it make sense, work it along with their own QuickBooks and touch it and have it be real, not just listening at somebody talking.
I really like that, because that was one of the questions we had. You just answered it. It is self-paced, because exactly what you just said, you go, you sign up, and geez, Beth, I missed week 3. Well, and then they don't come back because they missed week 3 and they don't know what you're talking about in week 4. But this way, like you said, you can look at it, go back and say, okay, now I've had time to think about this, go back and look at it again, say, okay, now I understand this. And, especially if someone who's already trying to do QuickBooks by themselves, they can watch the course and go and look at their numbers and say, oh yeah, but even just the basics of just setting up a chart of accounts, just understanding that, how do I set it up? Because people mean well, and they don't know how to set everything up. And they're like, oh, okay, the numbers don't mean anything because I don't know how to set it up properly.
Exactly.
I just what to do.
We cover the gamut. We cover how to choose which QuickBooks version is right for you. which again, some people may have already passed that point, or maybe somebody's paying too much for it and I'm telling them you don't need that version.
Yep.
Right. And then I go into the chart of accounts and how to set up your account and settings, how to invite users, into how to enter an invoice, but how to do it right, and how to collect money electronically, and sort of and then there's tips and tricks that someone who's been using it for a while may not have known. Like, oh, did you know you can press control this to do that? And, throw those things in there. And then again, the understanding of the why. Why are you doing this? You're not just doing this so that you can, have your tax accountant do your taxes at the end of the year. There's a bigger reason to know your numbers than just for filing taxes.
Well, especially like you said, if you can get people to stay up to date on it, because that's what I see happens is people fall behind, and then you're waiting until the end of the month to get out your billing. I'm like, hey, Beth, thanks for giving them a free, interest-free 30-day loan, and then they're going to take 30 days to pay it on top of it. So you may be waiting 60 days to get your money simply because you weren't comfortable with the operation. And, then you're like, hey, I'm struggling. I have no money to pay my team this week because everybody owes me money. So all that stuff you're teaching them is just super valuable. And it's going to make them a better business owner in my eyes. Because if you understand the numbers, you are a better business owner. And no one can argue that with us, because that's really what it is. You have people, when I see them struggling, that's usually one of the things. They didn't understand pricing, or they didn't understand cost. They didn't price it effectively. And they realized, oh my God, I forgot that I have to pay people and pay insurance and stuff. You didn't factor that into your pricing. You just said, this is how much I want to make an hour, without understanding what your true costs were. So what's the best way for people to reach out to you? How can they learn more about your course?
Sure, they can go to my brand new website, which is bbabookkeeping.com. And there's a link right at the top for online course. And I'll give you the actual link directly to the course. There's a couple of free modules just so that you can kind of feel it out and see what it's about. They're all 5 to 10 minute videos. And here's the best part. I made sure that I used a platform that you can speed up the whatever it is, right? Like how fast I'm talking.
Yeah.
So if you just want to fly through it, you can fly through it.
Yeah, no, but to your point, some people may have a background on one of the modules and just like, hey, I just need a quick overview. I don't need to listen to the entire thing and stuff. So makes sense. Cool.
And then you have lifetime access to it too. So say you're doing this, say something doesn't apply to you right now, but a few months from now you go, oh, wait, was that in the course? And you can go back and you can view that video, or you can come to the Facebook group and post a question and say, I don't think you covered this. This is a struggle that I'm having. And I might cover it on a live. I might add a bonus module about it. Or it could be a simple, answer that I can provide in the group.
Awesome. Beth, I really appreciate you a couple minutes to jump on the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thanks, Kevin.